Okay, welcome to an almost empty O'Moore Park.
Nearly.
This is our Talking Sport podcast, looking back on the Premier Intermediate hurling final, which we've just witnessed out there. I'm joined, as you can see, by Barry McEvoy, and to those that are listening, yeah, Barry loves it in front of the camera, and as you're listening to, you can hear his voice as well. If you can't see him, you can. We might do like the two Johnnies. They have a thing where they're full video now for their podcast.
Yeah. So
I think that could be some Paul, our videographers. He's grinning here, thinking of that one. That wouldn't be a bad idea now. But anyway, we're here to look back on the match that's just taken place. Portlaoise have beaten Ballyfin comprehensively, Barry, wasn't it? It was very, very easy in the end.
There was like a period in the first half, maybe when Ballyfin got back into it, a point before half time, but even then it never looked like they were going to really push on. And then at the start of the second half, Portlaoise scored 5 in a row early on.
Yeah.
Ballyfin didn't score till the 42nd minute in the second half, and Portlaoise had gone 6 points ahead by that stage, so
it was done, like, yeah. And like during the week we thought, like, you know, it was going to be touch and go, and then when we got the news beforehand that Kieran McEvoy wasn't playing, we thought, Jesus, this nearly tips it Ballyfin's way.
Well,
and Cormac Rigney only was a sub he came on. He didn't seem to be anything wrong with him, so don't know whether that was a tactical decision or whatever. But we did think that Ballyfin had a chance now.
Yeah, very much. Like, Mac is obviously a huge loss. He's centre back, and then the other question was who's going to mark end lines. Obviously Frank Flanagan ended up going on him and did quite a good job, and I got one score from the sideline co. So when you looked at the teams, when you saw Cormac Rigney and Mac were out, then it was nearly, maybe not quite tipping it in Ballyfin's favour, but definitely gave them surely a big boost going out, seeing two of them not starting.
Yeah, no, that was the general feeling up there anyway. And Ballyfin were confident enough coming into it that they would be capable of turning them over. Now the bookies had it that Portlaoise were 2-1 on nearly. So, or maybe it came in a bit afterwards, did it? Yeah, because
Ballyfin at half.
Yeah, you know, I thought so too. Well, considering Ballyfin had beaten both Ballynakill and Clonaslee St Mammons on the way here, who, you know, last year's finalists and the relegated teams from last year, so you would have thought that they would, but they never got going.
No, just never got into it. They'd had one slight goal chance in the second half, and even if they had scored that, I think it was still probably gone. Like,
yeah, you're right. Like, they came out the first 4 minutes, Portlaoise scored, or first 3 minutes, Portlaoise scored 4 points, went well clear. Then they started hitting wide after wide.
Yeah, there was atrocious wides in the game.
Yeah, there was, and it was sort of dead and flat too in a lot of areas. But I think there could have been 4 or 5 wides in a row for Portlaoise, but it wasn't like Ballyfin were setting it on fire down the other end.
Like, the end of the first half, Portlaoise didn't score for the last 10 minutes.
10 minutes of it, yeah.
Got 3 points and got back into it.
And they should have had more. I was talking to Brock and Riley out there. He said I was wore out catching the ball. There must have been 6 times that it came into him.
Yeah, there was just aimless balls into his chest.
Do you know what? He dealt with them really well, because he was saying to me as well, it was very hard to see with the sun in the first half.
Yeah, you even pointed it out. He was kind of looking.
He said I was having to shield my eyes and wait and then try and go for the ball. But he's very good at doing that, and he did that really well. His distribution was really good. Like, he's a fella who is in his first year of adult.
Yeah, and you swear he's there a couple of years this stage. He's so composed on the ball.
Calm on the ball.
Never panics, like.
No, never panics. He was there in his first year. Conor Raggett was also up in his first year. We interviewed him as well, and he spoke so well for a fella who's in his first year of adult. And he was involved. Himself and Conor Brown were both involved here last Sunday when Portlaoise lost the football. So they would have been on the floor after that game.
Picked themselves back up.
And played very well. Like, Conor Brown, I think, got clubber man in the match, and he would have been. I had him in the running for a Roman. I think he got 3 points.
3 points, yeah.
Between the two halves. But 8-7 at half time. And then it went, what was it? They got 5 in a row. It went 13-7.
13-7, yeah. And then it was.
Ballyfin got 1 back.
Then Eddie Crishley got 1 back straight away. And then it was 15-8 then at one stage. Then it went 16-8. And I just said to you, this game needs a goal. Yeah.
It needed a Ballyfin goal. And you're right, they had that one chance down there in the Abbeyleix end of the ground. It was a long ball in from Dara Lyons, who come on as a sub, our own man Dara, and Brocken broke it down. It came out to him and Duff. He gathered it, but the hurl got knocked out of his hand, so all he could do in the end was kick it.
Good effort.
It was a very good effort, yeah, and it just whiskered wide of the post. If they'd got that, there still would have been 4 points down.
Yeah, and they didn't seem to have the grasp of it. Like, it was gone. I think he got the 3 points back. It was you still felt Portlaoise would just come back and knock over a few points. And if they could find a range, they would have won by a lot more than 9.
But this is it. Like, I don't know how many wides they ended up with in the end. It was definitely in double figures. And Tommy, we interviewed Tommy Fitzgerald, and he referenced that, like, that they did leave a lot of scores out there. So look, they're fully deserving winners. They haven't lost a match all year.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
It's as comprehensive.
Said it's Tommy Fitz, and he did say, like, it was Division 2, but still you have to go out and win.
You have to win them, exactly. And especially in the league, you don't have your whole team all the time. You'd be missing lads and injuries and stuff. And they went into today's game without, as you say, one of the most important players in Kieran McEvoy, you know, a proper leader.
I asked Tommy on Tuesday night, is McEvoy going to be, he kind of said, he's a knock. Then I came here today, I saw him in a boot and crutches. It's a fair knock.
It's a fair knock. Yeah, I think he has a fracture or stress fracture in his foot. So
big loss for Bray Emmets in 2 weeks' time.
Is that in 2 weeks' time? Yeah.
2 weeks' time,
so that's where their attention turns to now. And Bray Emmets beat Abbey Leaks last year.
Yeah, Abbey Leaks last year.
Were you there when they played Castletown?
I was, yeah, that was down in Bray.
And Castletown beat them, I take it, did it? Oh, they lost to them as well?
Beat them, yeah.
Right.
It was a bit of a surprise.
The last time Portlaoise were in it, in the Leinster Intermediate, they actually played a team from Wicklow as well. I don't think it was Bray Emmets, but they did play a Wicklow team and they beat them. I
think it's the Wicklow senior team, that doesn't...
It is, yeah. They were, in the end, Portlaoise got to the Leinster final that year and were beaten by Eddie Brennan's crowd. Whoever they are, I can't remember now off the top of my head. He scored a goal actually in the game. And they lost, and they came up then to senior, but they only spent 1 year there, you know, and they just went down, and they've never
looked like coming back up really.
No, now Owen O'Connor did say to me, you know, we lost to the team that won it every year, so
yeah, that's something to hang on to.
Which is fair enough, you know. And they've, like, you go through their team there today. Owen mentioned it to me. The only player over the age of 30 is David O'Mahony.
Yeah, they're a very, very young team.
They're a very young team. Like then you're down to the likes of Keane Taylor and Kieran McEvoy, who are 28, 29 type. And they're a team that are there. They've added in a couple of younger lads, the Brock and Rileys, the Conor Raggett's, DJ White's a young player as well. He's probably under 20 this year still. So they've added in a few of them fellas. They've got in some decent transfers. Yeah,
Aaron Bergen mentioned that in his interview with me after the game. He made a special mention for John Mark Foley and Dylan Sheen. Obviously Dylan Sheen was the man of the match, the official man of the match here, and he made a serious difference throughout the year. He's midfield, starting every game. He's a great addition to the club. As he said himself, that himself and John Mark Foley were driving down to their own clubs. I think Dylan's from Limerick and John Mark is Kerry.
Yeah.
So they were travelling down to their own clubs and eventually came to Portlaoise here, and he said they welcomed him with open arms, and I'm not surprised because they're two very good hurdlers.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't be turning them away anyway.
No, certainly not. It's hard. I often say that it's hard to get lads in, and it's even harder to get good lads in. You know, it takes a lot of things to get a good lad. Like, think about Joseph's winning the football this year, Owen O'Flaherty transferring in from Carberry, making a massive difference to them. These are the things that do tip the balance. All right, Portlaoise, like, how do you? We believe last year there was almost a change in the structure of the Senior Hurling Championship. It almost went to 10 teams. It was rejected, I believe. The vote was very close that night in the county board. I think the proposal is going to come again for a 10-team championship. That would mean, if it went through, it would mean the Ballyfin wouldn't be relegated, and the both Portlaoise and Ballyfin would move up to senior. First question to you: how do you think Portlaoise will fare at senior next year?
I think the senior championship's getting very, very competitive, and they're obviously like the first team that comes up is obviously going to be one of the favourites to go straight back down, as bad as that probably is to say, considering Abbey Leaks were in the final this year. But like it's going to be very, very tough for anyone next year, and as I saw Cotton going down this year, so anyone could face the shop next year, and it's going to be very competitive. If it's just the 8 team still. If
it's 10, it provides maybe a little bit of a buffer. For you could see a scenario where Cotton, Portlaoise, Ballyfin are there, and they have an attainable chance of beating each other, and then maybe like the likes of Castletown wouldn't be a million miles away. The Harps have been in several relegation finals, you know. So Rose and Alice,
like we often say, the seniors too cutthroat at one end and not enough at the other. Like it's not very easy at the quarter final, but it's so easy to get relegated.
Yes,
it's very, very easy to get relegated.
Very, very easy to relegate. Like, you only need a bad group or tough group and a bad result. You know, like the Harps, I often think of them, like they ended up in the relegation final simply because Podge Delaney and Pádraig Dunn were away for the Rose and Alice match, which was the first game.
The one game they missed.
And that was the one that they would have kept them up if they'd won it. They wouldn't have been in relegation trouble, but they lost it. And then automatically, because they were in a tough group with two other big teams, I think they were with Ballycolin and Rathdowney early.
Yeah, so there was 2 games that were up against it straight away, especially when you lose against Rose and Alice in the first round.
It put them on the back foot completely. So
then the 2 ways come back and they beat Cotton. So.
Yes, so it's a difficult one. I understand you want to keep the top tier strong and you want to keep it elite, but at the same time I think there is an argument out there that by increasing the number you would give teams a better chance.
Gives them more opportunities to play senior hurling. And by the other talking, the Premier Intermediate next year is going to be quite tough with Bursell, Tottenham, Ballynakill, Ballyfin, obviously, Clonasea, St Mammons. It's going to be very, very tough. If it does stay 8-8, that's going to be a very, very tough championship.
Yeah, and our friends Coach Hannah Ho moving up there as well. So look, it's interesting, but for now, Portlaoise, that'll be the back of their very, very back of their minds. They won't be.
They're seeing right away. They don't care.
Exactly. They don't care one way or another what they do, but it'll be interesting for us to keep an eye on. Right. Well, myself and Barry here in MTM Park. We're going to hear from Tommy Fitzgerald next in the rest of this episode, and then for those on the podcast, not for those of you on the video, but for those of you on the podcast, we're going to hear from Tommy Fitzgerald next, and then we'll have a separate podcast where we'll hear from Conor Raggett, Aaron Bergen, Dylan Sheehan and Owen O'Connor. So we'll have a full Portlaoise reaction podcast then coming out probably Tuesday. So for myself and Barry, over and out. Tommy Fitzgerald, winning Premier Intermediate manager. This was the goal at the start when you came in, and you have achieved it. And you've done it in serious style as well. Comprehensive victories today. You must be thrilled for every single one of them players.
Yeah, absolutely. This is more relief nearly than anything, Alan, because when you're down intermediate, more so in the cup, the prize is getting back up senior, and obviously for us and for our club, that's so important. We need to be playing senior hurling to develop and get back to where we once were and where we feel we should be. So, but intermediate's all about getting over it, and to do it today, and I thought we hurled well at times, even though we left a lot of scores behind us. But we were very happy.
The key to this game, from what I could see, was the starts to both halves. You started the first half with 4 points in 3 minutes, and then you started the second half with 5 in 10. So you had 9 unanswered points either side of the game, beginning and resuming them for the second half. That was a cushion, and that was 9 points in the end, and that was the difference, really, wasn't it? It was those incredible starts that you got, and how well they hurled in them periods.
Yeah, first 5 or 10 minutes, and we probably should have been more ahead. And then we kind of, I suppose, to be only 1 point ahead at half time after doing a lot of the hurling was disappointing, to be honest. So it was just a matter of coming in and just refocusing again. And we were doing a lot of good things in the first half. We just started making some poor decisions in the last 10 minutes leading up to half time. So it was just about, I suppose, refocusing and concentrating again on what we were trying to do and the way we were trying to play. And in fairness to the lads, they did that, and they came out in the hurl with a good level of intensity and a bit of pace and a bit of speed and aggression and all the things we were looking for. So now we still left a lot of scores behind us, and Ballyfin did too, to be fair, but it was probably scrappy at times. But again,
who cares?
No,
who cares? Once you've won it. I thought the backs in particular were excellent today. I know oftentimes we all talk about lads score and all the rest of it. I thought Frank Flanagan put in a serious shift. I gave man in the match to Keane Dowling Byrne. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. There was a period there in the second half, he won about 6 or 7 balls, one after the other, and he was getting flaked afterwards. Never reacted, no stupid stuff out of him. Like, Keane's 23 years of age. To me, he is your prototype inter-county hurler. He's the size, he has the skill, he has the physique, he's got the temperament. If I'm Willie Maher, I'm calling him in the morning.
That's Willie's job. But the backs hurled well. They did hurl well, and they were quite manly at times in how they played the game, and just attacked the ball.
A lot of young lads as well in there, like Brock and Riley in the goals for a lad just up from minor.
Conor Raggett's the same.
Conor Raggett, Conor Brown in the forwards, very young team.
It is really, David Mahoney is kind of like the senior citizen there. We slag him, and then you're probably down to Keane Taylor, and then
Macca and them fellas,
obviously Macca didn't play today, so which was a big loss for us. But very happy the way the lads responded, and we have a bit of a panel this year, which we mightn't have had in other years, and we were able to bring lads in. We had a couple of changes last day, a couple of changes today, and whoever played just knew they had to perform. There was someone behind them, so it was great.
Yeah, and like you spoke there during the week about coming back, and what it means, and it was always in the back of your mind that you would do it. I don't think though you could have envisaged it going as well as it did. Like, you didn't lose a game all year competitively.
No, we won the league and won the championship now, so happy with that. But look, again, a lot of those games, and I think I said it during the week as well, you kind of expected to win those games, but then there's a few tricky situations, league semi-final, league final.
Ballynakill matches were classic games.
Really, let's be fair about it. The last day we played them. So look, you're down that level. You have to beat what's in front of you, and you have to earn your way out of it.
And you've done that.
I think we've earned our right now to hurl senior again,
and starting off first and foremost in the hurl senior league. I think is really important.
It is because there's a massive gap in standard between Division 2 and Division 1. So that's going to be important to us next year, just to I suppose get acclimatised again to playing senior hurling, and and it's just we'll look across that bridge we come to. But yeah, it will be a big plus.
You'll enjoy yourselves first and foremost. I said to Owen O'Connor there about Braham, it's in a couple of weeks' time, and he said, I will think about that during the week, and I think you're entitled to be able to do that.
Look, I won't say it's only an intermediate, but it's just getting back senior is the big thing. It's a big thing. And look, the lads are putting in a big effort. All year.
It's as big a panel as I've seen for Portlaoise in a long time.
Yeah, we've got good numbers in the field. Everyone kept coming, which was great. And
even the junior team were driving on the seniors as well. And even when they finished, they stayed coming.
But look, we all come from clubs, and it's about anybody who wants to play. We're not going to turn them away from the field, and that's what drives a club and drives the health of a club, is to keep people involved and to keep them playing, because you're always looking down the line, and in fairness, everyone made a contribution this year, and good lads, and they put in a good effort, and I was happy for them now today, to be honest with you, because Jesus, I was nervous all week, just thinking, are they going to perform? Are they going to show up? Are they going to do themselves justice? And I was happy for them that they did, and they didn't. They turned up and performed, which is the main thing.
Tommy, congratulations.
Thanks, Alan.
Thanks a million.